So remember, we talk about product development, basically when we are coming up with a new product in the market. And some of the reasons that make organizations to come up with a new product is on the cycle of the product. When it reaches the decline stage, remember sales go down. And once sales are going down, it means customers or organizations must re-engineer their products. And that is what triggers product development. The other thing that you must know is the product design or product development definition. But we can start by saying this is a complete product development cycle from market analysis, product specification, concept, industrial design, costing, scheduling, and manufacturing, logistics, customer feedback, and improvement of all the other aspects of getting a product into the market. So when you're talking about product development, there are so many things that you must be able to understand from market analysis. And remember, when you're talking about market analysis, what comes into your mind is that you are going outside there and trying to collect feedback from customers, trying to understand the customer's needs and some of the customer's reaction, so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to come up with a superior product that will satisfy the customer. Then we also talk about product specification. Product specification, we say in procurement, is the list of requirements or attributes that you need in a particular product. Once you have those specifications, you'll be able to put them on paper so that the item you're going to produce in the market will be an item that will be superior and will be in accordance to the specification that you need. Then we talk about industrial design. Design basically is the way you want the product to look like. Therefore, it is important when you're coming up with the product, you must be able to have a committee that is going to design the product for you. Then we also talk about costing. Costing is very critical. The cost aspect, when you want to develop a new product, it is always important to ensure that you develop a product that is not going to be too expensive, or the operational costs are not going to be high. Also talk about scheduling. Basically, you are scheduling your production, and a schedule is like a timetable that you are supposed to use when you're coming up with the product, or when you are trying to organize some of the materials that are very critical for your product development. Then we are also talking about manufacturing and logistics. So manufacturing is all about conversion. You are converting the inputs into various outputs. And when you talk about logistics, this is the movement now, of movement of the finished products from the manufacturer up to the customer. Then the second thing we also need to understand is the customer feedback. For a product to be successful, you must be able to listen to what the customers are saying in terms of feedback. And feedback will help us to build our product and will help us to have a superior product in the market, because what the customers are saying is very important for the business. Then the other thing we are talking about is improvement. Remember, when you're coming up with a product, it involves continuous improvement. You are making the product better and better every day. So the second part is the complete product development process includes involvement of market, design, purchase, manufacturing, sales, and after sales support team. So what is after sales support team? Remember, when you place the product to the customers, you always want to give an extra service to the customer by maybe explaining to your customer how the product is going to work and all those aspects that are very critical in the product that you want to produce. For example, if you're producing a technical product, let's say a television, you can provide an after-sales service by showing the customer what is expected or how he or she is going to use the product. Examples may include defining material, running calculations or simulation, creating high-quality models, and testing with prototypes. Then the second thing we are going to talk about today is product design. This is a whole design process that includes product industrial design, the user's experience, modeling, design calculation, and simulation. So when you're doing design, there are many things that you must do, like designing the product. using the user's experience. And when you're talking about the user's experience, these are the customers, how they are experiencing what you want to put there in the market. You also are supposed to come up with various models that are going to associate with your product. Then sometimes you might be required to do calculations of the design and simulations. So this responsibility of a good product design is to make products work as per the design specification. And the aim of product design is to make new products in order to fulfill the demands of the customers for survival purposes. So remember, you must survive in the industry. You are not alone in the industry. You have other key players in the industry. So you must be able to ensure at the end of the day, you will survive in that industry. Failure to do that, then your other competitors are going to surpass you, and that might be very, very tricky. So the other important part you are going to talk about is the sources of a new product. How can you get sources of a new product in the market? Number one, you can get information from customers. Remember, customers, already we have the potential customers and we have the actual customers who are buying from you. So you can decide to use both the potential and the existing customers for purposes of getting feedback that will play a great deal in your product design or development. You can also get information from distributors. Distributors act as intermediaries for the manufacturer. So basically they do the work of ensuring they're able to place the products to the customers in the least time possible. Then you can do what is called a competitor analysis, where you are going to check your competitor and trying to analyze what your competitor is doing different from you, so that at least you can benchmark and produce a better product. Then exhibitions, you can decide to go to exhibitions where you basically are going to see how some other industries or some other sectors are doing their activities by purpose of presentations. So exhibitions are all about going and hearing what they're saying about the product and basically having an idea of what you want to do. Then you can decide to read publications and journals that are very critical, and they normally give literature and the general knowledge of what you really want to do to come up with the product that you want to come up with. Then you can also decide to go to universities or private institutions for purposes of coming up with new innovations and coming up with new products. For example, there was a product from JKUAT University that was called Nissin. It was a noodle from JKUAT. So that was a kind of innovation that JKUAT came up with. Then you can also go to patent-free and licensed database. So we have those databases that basically provide information that can help you to get an idea about a new product that you want in the market. Then lesson number five was talking about the new product development process. So remember, when you're coming up with a new product, there's a process that you must follow. And according to Dr. Robert Cooper, he came up with various steps that are involved in product development process. And the first step was the idea generation. First of all, you must have the idea in your mind, what you want to achieve or what you want to come up with. And these are basically generated from the ideologies that you have in your mind. And basically it happens when you are trying to analyze what you want to do in a certain industry or in a certain product that you want to come up with. Then the second step is screening the idea. So once you have the idea, you analyze that idea and try to understand and try to look for information about your ideas. You are trying to go to various competitors, trying to look what they are doing in terms of the product and trying to talk to customers and understanding what the customers really want on the product. Then the third stage is testing the concept. The concept testing is done after idea screening. And it is important to note that it is different from test marketing. aside from patent research. So basically you want now to test the idea. You want to understand if the idea really is going to work to you. And it involves new product development, knowing where your market messages will work best, and is often the biggest part of the testing concept. Does the consumer understand the need or want that the product or service is going to give? After doing that, the next stage is doing the business analysis or business analytics. During the new product development process, build a system of metrics to monitor the progress. So here you are trying to come up with various parameters that will help you to measure the progress of your product, such as the average time in each stage, as well as the output metrics and the measure of the value that the product is going to launch. We also need to talk about the percentage of the new product sales and other figures that provide valuable feedback. It is always important for the organization to have agreement for the various criteria or metrics. So once you do the business analytics, the other thing is now the market testing or marketability test. Here you are arranging private tests or groups, launching beta versions, and then forming test panels. So you are trying to test the product and see if the product is basically going to work. What you need to do here is you are trying to look for few customers who are going to test the product and be able to give you the feedback that you are going now to implement on the new product that you want to produce. Then the other one is technicalities and product development. Provides the technical aspect, and it always ensures that at the end of the day, you are going to produce a product that is going to be of quality to the organization. And here you must involve other departments when you're coming up with the product. For example, you can decide to involve the production department because they are the people who really are going to be involved in that product. Then you can also involve the marketing department because they are the people who are going to distribute your product to the market. The finance department also, you can decide to talk about the finance by ensuring that they give you the finances that are very critical in your organization and very critical in ensuring implementation of the product is possible. Then the other step now is commercialization. This is where now you ensure that customers know the product. Commercialization is all about taking the product to the customers. And at some point, you can launch the product so that people are aware that this product exists in the market. And the last stage is post-launch review and perfect pricing. So when you're talking about post-launch review, you are going back and seeing if the product is really performing well in the market and trying to get feedbacks from the customers. And this will help you a great deal to be able to continuously improve the product in the market. Then another thing we are going to talk about today is the issue of the role of purchasing in product development. You cannot shy away from saying that purchasing plays a very critical role in production management. And one of the critical roles of purchasing is to ensure that you have all the relevant materials that are needed in production, to ensure at the end of the day, your production is not interrupted in any way. And one of the roles and our notes is the purchasing links a company to its environment. So you are able to link the company, the internal people within the company, to the external environment of the business. Therefore, you will be able to understand more about your suppliers, more about your competitors, and other stakeholders that are very critical in the organization. It also helps to grow a company's long-range planning process. So this means that at the end of the day, you will be able to plan. And remember, planning is a very important aspect in any production. If you don't plan, then it means you might end up not doing your production effectively or efficiently. Then enables monitoring and evaluation of company's environment. So you're able to monitor the company's environment. Remember, a company can operate in two environments, and that is the internal environment, which includes the employees and the top managers, and you have the external environment, which includes other stakeholders like the competitors. We are talking about customers, we are talking about the government at large, and the general public. So purchasing will help you to monitor these environments and try to identify ways in which the company is going to have a competitive advantage towards achievement of the goals and objectives of the organization. So we have two factors that ensure success of new products. And one of the factors is the top manager's support. If your manager supports you in critical decisions in the organization, it means at the end of the day, you are going to ensure successful new product development. Then the second factor is market orientation. You must be able to do market orientation by analyzing the various desires and needs of customers. And this will help you a great deal in ensuring that the product you are going to produce is going to be successful in the market. Then the other thing we will talk about today is you are Tonga, Sai, Tonga next week. Any question? Any question?